This is a question we got a lot. Is Arn Anderson aware of who Daniel Tosh is, and does he know about all the call-outs on the Tosh.0?
Totally aware of it. Every time I do a signing, at least 10 people will ask me in the course of 3 hours, what's the deal with this Daniel Tosh trashing you on his show?
If you think you can find your way to LA and spine buster the shit out of Daniel Tosh, as a longtime viewer of Tosh.0, I'm ready for it.
For the longest time, I was signed to a particular company, whether it was WCW or WWE, and I was not allowed to do any outside stuff. Let me just put this out there. I'm no longer signed to anybody. I can do anything I want. So if Daniel wants to upgrade and update the popping off, there may be a reckoning coming.
Okay, Boomer, put some respect on my name. After 11 years of randomly calling out Arn Anderson for no reason other than hating him when I was a child, he finally took the bait. I've avoided listening to or being on any podcast that's ever been recorded, but when a cream puff like Arn Anderson shoots on you, you've got no choice but to fight podcast with podcast. That's right, we've got a royal podcast rumble.
Welcome to the Arn Sucks Podcast. Who's ready for Armageddon? Arn says he's gonna fly out to LA. Oh man.
If you think you can find your way to LA and spine buster the shit out of Daniel Tosh, I will hang up right now and make that happen.
I'd be happy to buy you 2 coach seats and a seatbelt extender. The only spine that's gonna be busted is yours when you try to get off your recliner in whatever senior assisted living community your family put you in. Wrestling buffs call Arn a technician, which is code for unpopular or can't sell merch. The only reason you have a career is because you were riding Ric Flair's sparkly coattails. Woo! You ought to be thanking me for reviving his geriatric doughy ass. All right, if any of my listeners can name a single finishing move that is dumber than the spine buster, I'll give you $1,000 cash.
Hulk Hogan's atomic leg drop?
God damn it. I should have made it 500. I'd like to take a minute to thank my sponsors, MeUndies. Way more comfortable than those man panties Arn would prance around in. Here's the fun story. On Halloween, this little trick-or-treater came to my house dressed as Arn. Oh man, I didn't give him any candy. I kicked him right in the kidneys. And you know what his dad said to me? Thank you. Listen, I've been living rent-free in that coward's head since 2009. Now it's time for one of my favorite segments, Arn is bad at wrestling. That's where we rewatch one of Arn's more than 100 embarrassing losses.
Television champion, and like I said, Arn Anderson's got it.
Got a special treat for you today. Anytime I'm talking trash about Arn, everyone comes out of the woodwork wanting to chime in. Welcome, Hacksaw Jim Duggan to the podcast.
Hey Daniel, how's it going, man? How you doing?
Mr. Duggan, it's an honor to have you on. Hey, where's your 2x4?
I had actually dumped the 2x4 because it had Arn's stink of failure clinging to it. I had to get rid of it after wrestling that loser.
How easy was it to beat Arn?
If he didn't have somebody in his corner, he was no good. He was like a tackling dummy. We all knew that in the back. He'd go down night after night. I beat Arn. Can't even think of how many times.
I'm sure you've heard Arn started running his mouth about me.
That's one of the things Arn's best at. Talk and smack. He can't back nothing up. All he does is yak, yak, yak.
Let's go back to that match in Orlando '95. He was disqualified for cheating. That didn't come as a big surprise to any of us.
Arn is a noted cheater. He not only cheated me, he cheated Brutus and Barber Beefcake, cheated against Hulk Hogan. I even think he backstabbed Tully Blanchard one time. I wouldn't trust Arn. That's why that 4 horsemen deal is like 3 horsemen and a donkey.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Well, my pleasure, brother, but before you go, how about you give me a hoe, brother? Let's go, baby.
Ho!
Ho! Ho! Ho!
That's our show. Make sure you download next week's episode where I give out Arn's social security number.
Every night when I say my prayers, I ask the good Lord to keep you safe, Arn, so I can take you out myself.